What is going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? I have had most of the game spoiled for me by someone. I'm not gonna say who, but just in random conversation. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you all. I'm not gonna talk about it, but which it just means I can take my time with the game now. Just a couple of things were spoiled for me. Nothing well, I guess it could be major, but it's not going to affect my enjoyment of the game when I'm playing through it. So, put that out there. That being said, I am super looking forward to jumping into this game. I think this has the potential to be the best Resident Evil game of the current era. Well, even before the current era, the middle era, like 4, 5, and 6. I think this game has the potential to be the best Resident Evil since Resident Evil 4. Like the original Resident Evil 4. And I feel very strongly about that. So I'm really excited. And I'm ready to rock, man. I'm ready to rock. So, what's up, everybody? It doesn't need to be said, but yeah. Okay, Zach. Yeah, I just read your message. Some of it's already been spoiled for me. Yeah. Nah, it's okay. I'm a grown up. It's no thing. I don't get mad about spoilers. Like if someone's like, shush, and they just break the computer screen and throw things in and defriend people for spoiling. Oh, man. Nah, man. I'm in my mid-40s, man. I'm grown. I'm doing grown shit over here. That doesn't bother me. I understand why it bothers people when they get upset about it. I understand. I'm not making fun. But for me personally, spoilers don't matter. It's the experience. How's it feel? How's it look? How's it sound? How's it taste? How does it exist? All that good stuff. So I'm really stoked. But yeah, no, I won't be spoiling anything. I won't even be talking in the vicinity of that stuff. So I'm not going to talk about that. New York, Atlanta, Chris, Ray, I thought your site was updated with the books, but I can't find them. It was, and I had to take it down because I sold out again. So I've already sold out. Now I do have 5 box sets set aside. A few of you have messaged me. If you want to pick up the ARAURA box sets, I've got another shipment of books coming in, but I got 5 set aside. So if you want to order it, you can just message me directly, and you can Venmo me or something like that, and I'll get them to you. We can do that. But yeah, I put them up, and then like they just started selling, and I was like, okay. So I hid the store button once again. But I've ordered a massive shipment of books that I can have on hand here for myself. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I thought this was a pretty big order I got in. But I had people that personally know me, that I work with, and that a bunch of other people had messaged me. It's like, hey, I want a box set. Hey, I want a box set. So, and then people were buying it on the website. I didn't have time to promote it yet. Like I was getting a little social media promotional thing together that the website had books back and all that kind of stuff. And by the time the people that know me that had texted me had went to the website and gotten them, I was like, oh man, I got 5 boxes left. So I hid it. So if anybody wants one, you can message me directly and I will get you hooked up, personalized, all that kind of stuff. So, but that's what happened with that. So we're rocking and rolling. On the ARAURA stuff, big news, huge news. I haven't been live to talk about this too much, but I am going to spend a minute to talk about it before we get into the gaming stuff, because this is very important to me. This is the most important thing that I am working on right now. I am greenlighting season 1, a full 10 episode season 1 of ARAURA. 20+ minute episodes, opening ending theme, fully voiced, scored, the whole shebang-a-bang, all of it. I'm launching a Kickstarter to help me fund everything, like the final set, like episodes 4 through 10, basically, is what it's going to be. The OVA is the first 3 episodes, episodes 4 through 10. You can just message me on Discord, dude. Just message me on the Discord. Episodes 4 through 10, we're launching a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is opening at $15,000. No, that will not fund a full season. I understand. Each stretch goal that we're going to have is going to be unlocking a new episode. I've been working on this for 3 months, getting the messaging down, getting everything down, the proper plan, all that kind of stuff. You can go to ARAURAofficial.com right now. You can sign up to be on the email list for that. We're launching it March 25th. And that weekend is the weekend that I am doing a first look panel at Lexington Comic and Toy Con in Lexington, Kentucky. I'll be there, and I will be doing a panel. And some of the voice actors from the show are going to be at the show, so come on out and check them out. But there's a whole plan. And season 1, if the Kickstarter is successful, will be launching fall 2027. All 10 episodes. OVA Part 1 is launching April 6th. OVA Part 2 will be in May. OVA Part 3 will be in June of this year. So April, May, June. And then in July, I'm releasing a supercut of the whole hour-plus long OVA. And all this stuff will be free to watch on YouTube. Season 1 of ARAURA in 2027. Fall 2027, if this Kickstarter is successful, will be free to watch on the ARAURA YouTube channel. That's what I've been trying to build. We were talking to other companies. We were talking. I can't say who all I was talking to. It was just a couple of different companies that were interested. But dude, there was so much red tape and there was so much percentage talk being thrown around. I was like, look, I've done this much by myself to this point. Let's just go all the way in. Let's just pull the trigger. Let's just do it. This is me pulling the trigger. This is me just doing it and putting the head down and getting to work. Now, what does this mean? So, if the full season 1 of ARAURA gets kickstarted, that is my job. That is the job. But what does that mean for the gaming channel? It means I'm going to be on here a whole lot more. It means I'll be on here all of the time. Daily. I'll be on here every single day. Because I won't be spreading myself thin 40 hours a week at my other job, 60 to 80 hours a week animating, doing full-time dad, house stuff. That's 40 to 45 hours a week that I can take 20 to 30 of that and put into this channel right here. So, I say all that to say thank everyone who has supported me up to this point, and all the crazy ideas with my ADHD brain that can't focus on anything for more than 10 minutes. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here while I take on this absolutely crazy, insane, like no sane person would try to do what I'm doing. Just wouldn't, you know. But thank you for supporting me all this time. Like, there's been bumps in the road, there's been hiccups as I figure out how to do this crazy, huge, elaborate, epic thing that I'm trying to do. And I've fallen flat on my face a couple of times. But all that has led to me boss moding this thing and getting the ship right, getting the ship built properly. Ship, not the other one, ship. Getting the ship built properly and sailing and making it happen. So, appreciate all of you all that have helped, that will back, that have bought books, that have backed my Kickstarters in the past, that are going to back this Kickstarter. Thank you in advance. I'll thank you again when it happens, when it all goes down. And if you see my stuff out there, spread the word, because this is what I am here to do. I am here to entertain. I'm here to build. I'm here to build things to entertain. And I finally figured that out about myself. Not only the show, but this channel. Like this channel. Like doing things here. Hanging out with you all. Making making big moves and doing crazy stuff that I am built to do. Like, I am built to do these things. Got to reel myself in sometimes, but I'm built to do these things. So I appreciate you all so much. On that note, that's what I got going on. In the description of this live stream, there's a link to the Kickstarter page for the website. Back the email campaign there. Sign up for the email campaign, because day one, these things are going out. And this is going to be a big marketing push starting later this week. We've got a lot of things happening. We're really building something cool, and not just me. Like, I am building a proper team. One of the things this Kickstarter is going to allow me to do is build a proper team, not just a few animators and background artists to help me out, but a real production team. And the game that I've been trying to work on with my other game developer, it's going to lead to me being able to build that branch as well. So rocking and rolling, doing things, getting things rocking. So post Kickstarter link in the chat gladly. Here, give me just a moment. Let me get this. Boom. Let's see. And the way this works is it'll take you to hang on, let me go here. It will take you to the website to put your email in, and then it'll redirect you to the Kickstarter, where you can hit notify me on the Kickstarter as well. So all of that, all the things. Now it's time for my computer audio to mess up. Right on cue, right on schedule, right on schedule. Boom, there it is. That is the link that will take you to where you need to go. And I appreciate you all. So let me see. Let me make a few edits here, and then we'll get on with the stream. Excuse me. I had the flu last week. Isn't that crazy? That's not all I was going to say there, but I gotta edit something real quick. That wasn't displaying properly on the stream, so I gotta go in here and fix it. Fix that. Boom, 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 boom. Now it should be good. There we go. All right. So, and what's up, Coach? How you doing, brother? Yeah, season 1 in time for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Right. Yeah, like it's been wild. Like it's been wild. I've been talking with some of the cast. I've been talking with some other people who have a pedigree in the animation industry, who have done work for Cartoon Network, who have done work for Netflix, who've done work for Crunchyroll, and all this other kind of stuff. Just picking their brains and trying to be in a position to where I can make them a part of this team that we're building. So we are we are locked and loaded. So thank all of you all very much, and message me on Discord if you do want some of those box sets, and we'll hook it up. We'll hook it up, because I know if I click the button with just 5 box sets, they're gonna sell out before you all can get to them. I know some of y'all been waiting a while, so just please message me and I'll get you taken care of. Are you going to do any videos about Blue Point and Xbox? Yes, I am. Like, I've got, let me show you. I've been keeping track. Notes. I've got notes. This is my notes on everything that's been going on. Boom. This is all my video ideas right here. Like, notes on what's been going on with the industry stuff, with not just titles that we love and talk about here on the channel, but with Blue Point, with Xbox, Phil Spencer, all that stuff. I got thoughts on all that stuff. And I'm going to be actually doing some videos tonight, and then tomorrow I've got enough content. We're going to be rolling out 2 videos a day the rest of the week. So we will be talking about that. So, hey, thanks, Coach. I appreciate you, bro. Phil Spencer, you just made the list. Yeah. What is it? What was it he did? I was watching at that time. The ka-chung, like the little pin click of doom. Ka-chung. That stuff was so fun. That was some of the best Jericho stuff was the list. It was so good. So good. But yeah, so all that stuff. We talking about some rumors. We talking about some juicy stuff. I've made a conscious decision on here on the channel. Like, I do have people that are in the industry that do talk to me about stuff, not because I'm an insider and not because they're trying to leak information to me, but because I've formed genuine friendships with these people, because I've kind of gotten a reputation for being real, and a lot of these people I have met like through chat forums and stuff like that, and I've developed real friendships with these people, and as I have with a lot of YouTube creators and stuff like that too. So I'm going to have a personal policy moving forward that anything that these people trust me with, I'm not going to talk about it. They haven't said anything. I haven't lost any friends over it or anything like that. But I'm just making a conscious decision, because what happens is I'll talk about it with you all, and then I'll be like, well, I can't really say any more. And then it makes me look like I'm lying about it. You know what I mean? Like, well, if you talk to him, then what'd you say? It's one of those situations where I'm just like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Now, that being said, we will talk about the general rumors and stuff that are out there. I'm not going to be like, oh, I heard this, I heard that, but because I don't want to get them in trouble, and I don't want to get, like, I don't want you all to think that I'm making that stuff up either. So I just want to be genuine and 100% transparent with you all about that. Moving forward, we will talk about rumors, we will talk about speculation, but if it's specifically something that I've talked with another person about, we're just going to talk about it generally. Like, I'm not going to say, I spoke with so-and-so or my friend at this place or whatever. I'm not going to say that. But if it's out there, we'll just talk about it. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm feeling much better, Dark Eye. Thank you very much. Yeah, like, I had the flu, but I also had, like, I had some other kind of funk, but I have flu B on top of it. So, it seems like every time I get locked and loaded and ready to come on and do a bunch of content and stream and stuff like that, I get sick, you know? So, hopefully I'm out of the woods on that now. I do still have, like, a lingering cough that I'm getting over, but I'm 100% fine. So, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Yeah, I got the flu. I haven't had the flu since I was a kid, you know? That was so weird. But I am around a lot of people at my job, so it's, yeah, I'm certain that I caught it there, so. But yeah, so real quick, I do want to talk about the Xbox stuff. Specifically, not everything, but specifically just the Phil Spencer thing. Sarah Bond's not there anymore. But Phil Spencer, you know, I've said for a long time here on this channel, when we talk about like the state of the gaming industry and the different personalities and stuff that are in the industry, you know, I really miss Reggie Fils-Aimé, and when Sean Layden was at PlayStation, you know, about 10 years ago, the cast of characters from about 10 years ago, and Phil Spencer's in that, you know. I think the past few years have been rough on Phil, and he didn't really do himself any favors either. I think Phil Spencer stepping down at Xbox, I've always said he's a great ambassador for gaming, and I still feel that way. I feel like he loves gaming, but I think with the way the industry has shifted. And let's be clear, like, none of these companies have figured out what the industry's doing. None of them know. Like, they're all just kind of like feeling their way around in the industry. Nobody knows what's going on in the industry. They don't know what the business is going to be like tomorrow, the day after, or a year from now. They're all just kind of playing the day-to-day game. And I think Phil probably did the best he could. I would like to think that all these layoffs and the bad business at Xbox, I would like to think that was hard on him. Now, I don't know, but I would like to think that was hard on him. Because I think he is a good dude. I think he is a gamer. I think he's a fan of video games. I think he's a gamer like us who was just in that position at Microsoft, and he was the guy, and I think things just got in over his head, not with just Xbox, but I think with the people running business at Xbox, because it's not just one person running business there, it's many people that run business there. And Sony's been fortunate enough to have really good business people there because it's Sony, right? Microsoft and Sony are very different as far as like how those companies are built, right? I'm not just talking PlayStation and Xbox. I'm talking Sony and Microsoft. Like, Sony is more of a business conglomerate, whereas Microsoft is a tech company that is very successful business-wise. And when you take a look at how they do business, you can see that. Like, you can see it in not just their marketing, but their branding, their business in general. Like, you know, their projections and, you know, how they run their numbers and their business and their infrastructure. You can find that stuff online. That's not insider intel. I mean, you can find that stuff online. I'm always fascinated by the business of video games. Well, many times I've actually thought about just making this a business of video games channel, but that'd be super dreadfully boring, right? But I feel like Phil Spencer just kind of had enough of not just bucketing water out of the boat, right? And I don't think that it is. And I'm not gonna be pessimistic about this. That's something else I want to change the vibe of here on the channel too. Is like I've let myself fall into kind of this trap of pessimism when it comes to the industry. I want to cleanse that. I want to cast Isuna on all of that, right? All of it. I don't want to be pessimistic about this. I want to look at this in a positive light. I think he just got tired of telling people, hey, we don't have work for you. Hey, we got to let you go. Hey, or telling a boardroom of people, hey, you got to go tell your studio that 30 of them don't have a job tomorrow. I would like to think he got tired of doing that. Because from what I understand, he's a really cool dude, and he loves the industry. He loves the fans. He loves making cool stuff. And unfortunately, lately, Xbox just has not been doing any of that stuff. They've not been doing good by the fans, making cool stuff. They're trying to cut corners and duct tape things together and present things in a certain light to try and make it look like it's a win for fans. And to some degree, every company does this, right? Some companies are just better about disguising it than others are. But I will continue to beat the drum that Phil Spencer, great ambassador for gaming, made tons of contributions. Man, the Xbox 360 era of gaming, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That was like the peak of the golden age of gaming. Like, for us fans of JRPGs, it was that 94 to 2001 era, right? But for the gaming industry as a total, in totality, not just the golden age of the JRPG, but in totality, I would say it was that Xbox 360 era, and Phil Spencer was the dude there. He helped orchestrate all that. It went downhill from there, but so did gaming. Like, if you're being honest, so did gaming. And a lot of companies have just started rebounding in the last 5 to 6 years. I mean, even PlayStation, the PS3 era was been criticized heavily. It wasn't a great time. And the PS4 era in itself was kind of whatever, PS5 era, they've been killing it. PlayStation, they got their groove back. They know what they're doing. Xbox never got their groove back. And some of that falls at his feet, at Phil Spencer's feet. Not all of it, though. Not all of it. That's why he wasn't the only one to lose his job. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for anybody who loses their job. I feel bad for them. But when you throw in to the corporate world, when you throw into business, when you throw your lot in, when you put your hat in the ring, that's the risk you run. You can be riding high one minute and not have a job and have your house foreclosed on the next. And that's also why you see all these indie developers popping up. Not just indie game developers, but indie animation studios, indie film studios, Markiplier. You all know that story. Everybody's betting on themselves now because they're tired of having the rug pulled out from underneath of them. Phil Spencer will have something to do in the gaming industry when he's ready. I don't think he's ready. I think he wants to take some time away. I'm just guessing. If I were him, I'd probably want some time to rest and recoup. Unless you're planning something this whole time, I think he'll be back in some capacity. I don't know what, I don't know who, when, or how. But I think a guy like that, when you've been in the industry, you've tasted that success, and you've been able to build something that you love doing, that doesn't go away. That goes away when they put you in the ground. That's the only time that will ever go away, is when they put you in the ground. That man's got a lot of life left to live, I hope. And I would say this for any creator, whether you're 15 or whether you're 75 or whatever. I don't care. You got it right here. You got it right here. Go make it. Go do it. And I still think that guy has something to offer. I do. I still think Phil Spencer has something to offer. And I hope he lands on his feet somewhere. Whatever he decides to do with whatever, it won't take away from his legacy, but it also doesn't take away from the failures. And you have to talk about both of those. Xbox has failed mightily, and it feels like for about 5 to 6 years, Xbox has just been trying to make things work, right? Trying to plug things in here and make them work. You can make the most powerful system on the planet. You can make a system that self-updates. You can have a AI, artificial intelligence powered Skynet Terminator build. If the games aren't any fun, it doesn't matter. If the games aren't any fun, it doesn't matter. Let me say this again for all the tech bros out there who can't understand why their 8K million teraflops, whatever Radeon processor game flopped. If the game's no fun, it doesn't matter. End of story. And this is why Xbox has failed. You get caught up in these tech specs and making something super powerful, so you've got marketing bullet points to sell to investors and to sell to fans and stuff like that. Show me the damn games. Just show me the games. Show me the content. Show me what you're working on. Show me what you're doing. They could never do that. That Hellblade 2 game, massive flop. Beautiful walking simulator. Beautiful 5-hour tour through what the developers made. Not a great game, I'm sorry. Did I play it? No. Do I know a lot of people whose opinion I trust that played it? Yes. And every one of them said it wasn't any good. Too short. Kind of fun. Kind of felt like the first game. Way too short. Not a lot of meat on the bone. And that is the story that everybody told me. And that's not just that game. It's a lot of things that have come out from Xbox over the last 5 to 10 years, really. So, but that 360 era, man. What a time. What a time to be a fan of the industry. The industry is still running on fumes of that era. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Like, the industry is still, in many ways, running on the gas that's left in the bottom of the tank of that Xbox 360 era. When PlayStation 2 moved into PS3/Xbox 360, like that pinnacle, that peak, that summit that the gaming industry reached, we're still on the come down from that. That's what people don't understand. Is like, that hit at such a sweet spot for the multi-generational gaming audience, because you had Super Nintendo gamers and stuff like that who were hitting their 30s at that point with disposable income and still big into gaming. Maybe didn't have families yet, all that kind of thing. I fell into that category. You know what I mean? And then you had new gamers that were coming online, you know, and just like, oh my god, this is amazing, I got a 360 and a PS3, and I've still got my brother's PS2 and all this other kind of stuff, and my mom's Super Nintendo, and it was just a great era. And then PS4 era, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, into the PS5 era was this weird 10 years of everybody trying to figure it out. Capcom looked like they were tanking. Konami did tank. I mean, you had Capcom bounced back. A legitimate, like, record Tales for the Ages bounce back from Capcom. Konami is trying to follow suit. A lot of other companies are trying to get in that era. Nintendo always did their thing. PlayStation has figured it out. They're kind of, they're good. PlayStation's good, you know. Xbox never figured it out. And I think they were trying a lot of things. I think they were just trying a lot of the wrong things. Bad business decisions, listening to people, or just him not having good ideas. Maybe they weren't going with his idea. I don't know. This is not me defending something I don't know anything about. But what I do know is Phil Spencer has always been a great ambassador for gaming. You can see it on his face. He loves the industry. Not just Xbox. Like, he loves gaming. He loves the storytelling of gaming. He loves the industry. Whatever went wrong at Xbox, whose fault it was, we'll probably never know. But I can definitely tell you that that guy loved what he did. He had a passion for it. And I think that company, I don't think that company's going to recover. I think Xbox is officially done. Officially done. I think they're just kind of like playing through the last bits of the dirge. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to go back and read some of your comments here real quick. Sarah Bond didn't feel like a real person. LOL, spoke like an android. I am not. Cough triggered. That's a good one, Zach. Yeah. Anytime Xbox had a presentation, especially at Summer Games Fest or whatever, it felt like Sarah Bond was reading bullet points written by marketing interns. That's really what it felt like. Absolutely. I think they probably could have used more. There are people at that company who love gaming. And Sarah Bond might love gaming too. She might be a big gamer. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. That's the thing with her. We don't know anything about her. Like, you can go online and look at her resume and her marketing background and stuff. But it's like, as far as like other stuff, you know, who knows? I mean, I never got the vibe she was like a gamer. But you've got people at that company who have a passion for that, and they never put them in front of the screen. Maybe they're not good public speakers. That's a part of it. That could be a part of it. But here's the thing. You put someone who has passion for gaming in front of an audience that aren't good at public speaking. We see it every year at the Game Awards. That is so entertaining. And it's very wholesome as well. It's like one of those, oh man, they're really trying to get through it. Let's clap them up. Let's get them going. They're trying to get through it. We see that. Like, we fans, we gaming fans, we see that. Real recognizes real, right? We can see when someone's real and when someone's not. And I think that's another problem with Xbox's PR and their public speak, is that you pick a lot of people, we can see that they're not into what they're saying. You're not doing yourself any favors. So yeah, I agree with you, Zach. It was kind of like she was an android reading bullet points. Simply cannot agree with him getting flowers. Dude intentionally lied and misled an entire console base. Snake oil salesman. That said, Xbox was destined to be in the... Yeah, Coach. I mean, I know. Me and you have gone back and forth on that. I'm not discounting any of that stuff. My point with him is he built that 360 era. Personal feelings aside, I don't have like real personal feelings about the guy. He built that 360 era. Was what it was. And if you want to demonize people who are snake oil salesmen and do all kinds of like shady backdoor deals against companies and stuff, you can't like anything PlayStation does. I'm just going to put it out there for you. You cannot like anything or anybody at PlayStation. Because shady backdoor dealings, screwing people out of contracts, making self-serving deals. PlayStation built a brand on that. That's how cutthroat business is, you know. I'm not defending anything bad that any of them have done. I'm not defending that stuff. But I will give him his flowers for building that 360 era, because the Xbox 360, the pinnacle, the height of that system and what the gaming industry rose to at that time, he had a lot to do with that. You have to acknowledge that. If you don't acknowledge that, then we can't have a legit conversation about that era of gaming. Halo, all that kind of stuff. We can't have a legit conversation about that. Amazon sucks, man. My pre-order for RE9 got bumped back to March. Dude, a lot of people's RE9 pre-order got lost. Like, just got canceled. And then they had to kind of remake them. Oh, his failure rate is higher than 50% for this console and the previous console cycle. Higher. It's more like 55%. But again, that's when I say that the industry is still coasting on the fumes from that era. That's what I mean. Like, you can't have a greater than 35% failure rate with your business decisions and keep the doors open. Xbox has done it at a rate of 53 to 55% for 12 years. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, leaned way too hard into Game Pass. I mean, developers can't. Here's the other thing. You know, Xbox buys all these studios and stuff, and developers can't feed their families and their teams on whatever they're making from Game Pass. You know, the funnel, the monetary funnel that is Game Pass. There has to be some hidden clandestine money somewhere that they keep feeding into that engine, because there's no way it could keep working. And I think they've run out of money. I think they've definitely run out of money, because that's why they've done these weird price hikes and stuff on Game Pass. The whatever mystery clandestine Swedish bank account money they were getting, Bond villain money, gold bars that were being shipped into Xbox. What that money is gone. That's why we've seen these price changes. No, the Red Ring of Death impacted way more. Yeah, like I had 3 Xboxes because 2 of them Red Ring of Death on me. So for me, that's a 66% failure rate, just based on my own. Like, after my third 360, it wasn't a Red Ring of Death on my third 360. It had some tray issues and stuff. I was like, I'm done. That was my last Xbox. But when I had it, I had fun with it. But the hardware issues and the problems with that system just really put the nail in the coffin for me with that brand. Anything else I wanted to play, I could play on other stuff. I didn't want to risk another $400 system collapse, you know? And then going to GameStop and then being like, oh, we're out of them, but we'll call you when we get more in. And then 2 weeks later, go down there and hope that the one they hold for me is still there. And then 6 weeks later, do it all over again. I just got tired of it. Oh, but anyway, enough about all that. Let's talk some Resident Evil. Let's talk some Resident Evil, baby. I'm ready. I am ready for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Man, it's gonna be. I legit think this has and this is not based on the spoilery stuff I heard. The spoilery stuff that I heard was like, I won't get into it. It had nothing to do with like gameplay and where you can go and all that kind of stuff. It was story stuff, right? But just based on what I've seen, I think Resident Evil 9 Requiem has the best shot of any Resident Evil game that has come down the pipe of being the best Resident Evil since Resident Evil 4. Now, I don't think this will be better than classic Resident Evil, Because classic Resident Evil, it doesn't get better than that. With the fixed camera angles and the really strained item management and the dread of not knowing what's around the corner but being able to hear it. You know, you all watched me play through the whole classic Resident Evil catalog recently. So with that being said, starting with 4. 4 is great. 4 is an all-timer. 4 is one of the best games ever made. This has the best potential of any game they've done so far, of being the best Resident Evil since 4. GameCube 4. Like, legit Resident Evil 4 GameCube. No, I don't think that monster's Grace's mom anymore. Because we've seen more of them. And plus, we've seen in the trailer what happens to that monster. So, no. I'm pulling my hat out of the ring on that being Grace's mom. I am out. You know, I always say, we're all right until we're wrong. Well, I was wrong about that one. So I'm pulling my hat out of the ring. Done. Finito. Finished. We're out. Not Grace's mom. Would have been cool, but not Grace's mom. Well, maybe cool is not the right word. Would have been interesting. Interesting. Put it that way. Yeah, the games of the 360 era were amazing. Not the system itself. The games of that era. Like, I'll never just sit here and throw flowers on a system. Like, if the system has good games, then I'll throw flowers on that. You did a great job making video games this cycle. I am never going to look at a system and be like, I've got to have that system just because, man, have you seen the ray tracing? Have you seen the yada yada, all the tech geek specs? I don't get into that. Story. Give me story. Give me content. Give me great games. Or go away. Stop talking. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. The 360 had great games on it. Anyway, moving on. Alright, I can't be any worse than 6. Shut up, man. Don't do that. I think you're right. I don't think any Resident Evil can be as bad as 6. Because on my Discord, I did share that video. What's that one video, that guy, he's talking. He's like a Capcom executive. He's like, alright, so Resident Evil 6. And he's talking about all these different things. And then, look, there was way too much going on in that game. I think they learned their lesson. Do I think Leon survives this one? I'm going to say yeah. Because he is such a beloved character in the franchise. Like, if this were a movie, you could kill your main... At this point, Leon's kind of the main character of Resident Evil. And let's call it what it is. I mean, I would say Chris Redfield, because he's the cover guy for the first game, and he's still around. But as far as like fan popularity, I think it's Leon. If this were a movie, and if this was the last movie, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that they could kill Leon. But this is a franchise that's always seeking to do new things with games and stuff like that. It's like, well, Leon's like, what? How old's Leon in this game? Like 50, right? 50 ballpark. Y'all can correct me on if you know the exact number. I don't know the exact number. He's right around 50, right? People these days are kicking ass into their 60s, man. You know, I mean, especially people in Resident Evil that are trained and enhanced in some way and are getting constant, like, you know, not BOW upgrades, but upgrades against BOWs. You know, they're in peak physical condition. It's like everybody in Resident Evil, like your Chris, your Leon, your Jill, not so much your Claire, but they're all like Batman. Like, they're all like peak physical condition. You can roll for a long time. It's because you got some gray hairs don't mean you can't still roll. And you can roll a lot harder than a lot of the people around you. So, with that being said, Leon will be in another Resident Evil game at some point. I don't think he'll be the star. But I don't think they want to remove the option of him being around. Let's say Resident Evil 10 sucks. Like, Resident Evil 11 doesn't do much better. Resident Evil 12, hey, Leon's back. See? And I feel whatever they do with this Code Veronica remake, I think Capcom might be preparing to bring Wesker back too. I think they might be. Now, I did not like Wesker in Separate Ways, Resident Evil 4. I thought he was too boring. I thought he was too, like, modern storytelling villain. Peak Albert Wesker is Resident Evil 5, man. Complete global saturation. That guy. That is peak Albert Wesker. I love Wesker in every game up to 5. But 5 was peak. And he kind of had a starring role in 5, you know? Whereas he was just the villain behind the curtain in the other games. You never saw him much. Code Veronica went harder on the Code Veronica X version for PS2, putting a lot of Wesker stuff in there and everything. But, you know, Resident Evil 5, peak Wesker. Resident Evil 4 remake, Separate Ways, Wesker. He was boring. He was boring, kind of meh, he kind of felt phoned in. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think they're trying to figure out a way to bring him back into the fold. And it's Resident Evil, man. Like the Wesker you fight in Resident Evil 5, maybe they say, yo, there's a couple of Wesker clones out there. He's been working on it. He was Bluetoothed in, you know. The real Wesker was Bluetoothed in from a chair somewhere. You know, I mean, it's sci-fi fiction fantasy at its finest. Horror. That's why Resident Evil is head and shoulders above every other horror franchise out there. It's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's horror. I mean, it's the best. It's the best. They can do whatever they want. They can get away with it because it makes sense in Resident Evil. Not a lot of franchises can do that. So, but yeah, with Leon, I think there's a chance he dies in this game. But I think he makes it. I think he makes it for that reason. Yeah, you can kill a person in Resident Evil and bring them back. Like, look at Steve in Code Veronica. Like, dead, right? Dead. Confirmed dead. But if he pops up in the future, are we going to be surprised? Absolutely not. If Steve, is it Burnside? Is that his last name? If he pops up in the future, are we going to be surprised? 0% surprised. Because it's Resident Evil. For sure, man. For sure. Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's rock. You know? You bring a young Leon clone back at some point to help with some... Okay, whatever. Fine. It's a little weird, but sure. I mean, I can see it, you know? You think Umbrella and these other, like, companies out there don't have DNA swabs on everybody at BSAA and Leon and all these other people? Of course they do. They've got their genetic code. They can do whatever they want. You want to fight a Leon? You want to have Leon or Chris fight a Leon bioweapon? You want to have Jill Valentine fight a Chris bioweapon? Let's do it. We can do it. We can do whatever we want. It's Resident Evil, baby. Let's go. Do whatever you want. Doesn't it just feel like that RE10 is going to be all about Jill and maybe Chris? Really feel like, no. I would say no, but here's why. Because I'm a huge Jill Valentine fan. She's my favorite character, and they refuse to do anything with her. They refuse to do anything with her but give her a crappy RE3 remake. So no, it doesn't feel like that. Do I hope they do? Yes. I am in your camp, Zach. You know I want that. I want Jill Valentine to be the star of a Resident Evil game. It's just Jill and maybe a side character, and maybe they're going to help Chris, or maybe she's going to help Claire, maybe she's going to help Leon, maybe she's going to help Barry, maybe she's going to help somebody else. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be Jill and Chris. I get the tie, but it would be interesting to see Jill and another character. Maybe Carlos Oliveira comes back, you know? Maybe we find out what happens to Billy from Resident Evil 0. I mean, they can do whatever they want. Ari Laura's just, what? Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Look, like, Resident Evil, it's like, you all know. Like, people are like, well, Ray, you love Final Fantasy. Why do you love Resident Evil so much? Like, have you seen the lore? Have you seen the Resident Evil lore? It's like God tier storytelling. It's like, that's why I'm always mad that they can't do a Resident Evil movie. It is a movie. Just do the game. You don't have to get creative. You don't have to do your vision of Resident Evil. Spare me your vision of Resident Evil. The perfect vision already exists. I love it. The lore is incredible, Coach. It's incredible. Chances on seeing Ada since Leon is in it, 0. I don't think we see Ada at all in this game. I think it would be a good time to start separating the Leon and Ada stuff. Because, I don't know, I think the bad girl story is played out. You know, we get it. Ada's not trustworthy. We get it. Leon's always falling for something with it. Now, if Ada were to show up and save Leon, that I could get on board with. If Ada shows up, I don't want her just snooping around looking for Eplus virus and tricking Leon into getting her Eplus or whatever. I don't care about that. I don't want that. I think that's so boring. And Ada's kind of boring to me now. She's become like a boring character. You know why she's here. You know what she's doing. You know she likes Leon. I'm going to fly away on my zip line. We get it. We get it. If she were to forego whatever she's doing to just make saving Leon, because he's obviously dying. He's obviously dying. Like, that is the story of this game. Leon is dying. And there's something going on with Grace. That's the mystery. Those two things are the mystery in this game, which I think is a great hook. If Ada's coming to get like a virus sample and she finds out Leon's dying and she just drops everything she's doing to try and help save Leon, like if Leon's down and out and you're just Grace and then you're Ada in Leon's stead for a while, I could get on board with that. I could absolutely get on board with that. But more of the whole cat and mouse Ada shenanigans that we've been getting for almost 30 years now, nah, played out. She's boring in that respect. Bad writing, don't do it. Do something different. What up, Nelson, my brother? How we doing? But yeah, so I am really excited about the possibilities just in the gameplay of Resident Evil 9 Requiem. The gameplay, what they're going to do with the story, where they're going to take, like, how are we going to manage our inventory? Like, what kind of new stuff are we going to get? How is Grace going to play? How does her inventory management work? And we know Grace and Leon get together at different points. Their stories intersect at certain points. So could we get an item swapping thing? Could we get a thing in Resident Evil 9 where it's like 0 in a respect, but not so much? Like that you can, if you're with Leon or with Claire or Grace, I'm sorry, you can give items to each other. Like, I think that would be super cool. Like, let's say there's a locker later on in Leon's campaign that Grace has found a key for, and you had the opportunity to swap it with each other, but now you can't, right? Now you can't, and you missed the opportunity. Oh man, my next playthrough, I got to make sure I give that to Leon, or next playthrough, I got to make sure I give this wrench to Grace. You know what I mean? Because she's going to be in a spot where she can get it. It's a one-time through area, can't go back, and she can't do this again. If you get in that locker or you get in that trunk or whatever, you know, it's got like a really cool item, like a yellow herb or something that exponentially helps you. I think that would be amazing. What are the streaming plans this weekend? Streaming all weekend. That's the plan, baby. That's the plan, baby. Streaming all weekend. Like, I will be working a double on Friday and Saturday, but Friday night when I get home, I'll be playing Resident Evil. Saturday night when I get home, I'll be playing Resident Evil. Sunday night, you see what I'm doing here? We're playing Resident Evil Sunday night. So yeah, whenever I'm not working this weekend, gonna be playing Resident Evil 9, baby, all weekend. So yeah, Ada is Catwoman to Leon's Batman, for sure, absolutely. I mean, that's absolutely what it is. But so I'm gonna hop off here for a little bit. Sorry to end it abruptly. I just saw what time it was. I got carried away talking to you all. I'm gonna go hang out with my kid a little bit before it's bedtime, and then I'm gonna come back on later for about an hour or two, and we're gonna play Resident Evil 0. How's that sound? How's that strike you all? So about 9:30 or so, I'm gonna come back on. We're gonna play some Resident Evil 0. We'll get into it. We'll talk about some more stuff, some more good stuff. If you did not earlier and you want to sign up email for the Aurora Season 1 full 10 episode Kickstarter, that's the link right there. Click the link, sign up for the email campaign, and then follow the redirect and follow it on Kickstarter. So I appreciate you all. We'll be back later. Till then, y'all stay safe. Have a great couple hours to see old Uncle Ray again. And keep rocking. I will catch you all in a little bit. Take care. Dudes. I called somebody a dude the other day on stream. And somebody was like, oh, you ripping off Max Dude's lines? Like, no, I call people dude all the time. I actually consciously stay away from it. Because I've always worried people were going to think that. But that's just how I talk, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, I let it slip. And then somebody messaged me. And I was like, no, what the one time I said it. I talk like that all the time in my daily, though. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Because I almost called you all dudes. Like, I'll catch you all later, dudes. I almost said it. So I thought that was funny. I thought I'd share that with you all. Y'all have a good couple hours. I'll see you soon.